Hey everybody, it's Carm here, coming to you with another video from the backyard. It's another pretty nice day, although it's we've had a lot of rain lately and fog and stuff and humidity, but today's a little better for the time being, so I thought I'd come out and do another video. Over the last couple of weeks I have some new finds. These past 2 Saturdays I went to the Jazz Record Mart, which is near where I work in downtown Chicago. I went one Saturday, found some things, had a few titles in mind that I kind of passed up on, and then went back the following Saturday to find some more. And well, here's what I have. It's a combination of LPs and CDs. So I'll just start right in with the CDs. Wolfgang Donner, Tribute to the Past. Really nice solo piano. Combination of originals and standards. See some of the composers back there. It's an older picture of him on the front, although it was recorded in 2009, 2010. One of my favorite piano players, probably since the 90s. Very distinctive touch on the instrument. You kind of know it's him right away. Really happy to find this. It's on the HGBS label. I wasn't familiar with, but very nice. Flight for Four, John Carter and Bobby Bradford Quartet. I think both Teddy and Chris showed this records, or Chris did like a response video to Teddy where they both showed this record and raved about it. Understandably so. Excellent record. As I said, very Ornette Coleman influenced, it seems. Sax, trumpet, bass, and drums. So very nice. Really happy to find this. Probably one of the pricier things I picked up, but it was definitely well worth it. Mark Egan, About Now. Excellent bass player. Another one of my favorites. Also with Mitchell Foreman on keyboards and Danley Gottlieb on drums, who's a longtime collaborator. I think they're both longtime collaborators of his. And both of them were in the Pat Metheny group together way back in the early days, in the 70s. So really happy to find this. Yeah, real nice trio jazz. Has kind of a laid back, almost like a Sunday afternoon feel to it. So it was really nice. Gianluigi Trovesi Octet from G to G. Wonderful reed player, Italian reed player. This is from 1992 on Soul Note Records. It would be really cool to find this on vinyl. I have a couple other things of his on ECM actually. They're more, more in the chamber mold, but this is definitely more. The fellow who behind the counter said, this is definitely more of his rowdier things, but really a lot of fun and a very diverse range of styles. You see the instrumentation there. At times it's like a big band, at times it almost sounds like circus music, but it's a lot of fun. The Meeting on GRP Records from 1990. Alfonso Johnson on bass, Patrice Rushen on keyboards, Ernie Watts on sax, and Nugu Chancellor on drums. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's kind of like a pop jazz group, I guess you'd say. Quincy Jones wrote a blurb for it in here, but the quality is very high and it's pretty diverse. I've heard the term again, like coffee table jazz. It might be along those lines, but very good playing though, and it was fun hearing. A couple of non-jazz records. They have a really diverse selection. They're just beyond jazz. There's 20th century classical. There's some there's international section. There's quite a bit. Kevin Keller, In Absentia. Really nice modern chamber music. Very melancholy. A combination of strings, woodwinds, and keyboards. I've heard his music for a while, and it's very evocative. Actually, very autumnal, which be a little more appropriate in October. And the last CD, Steve Moore, Light Echoes. This is actually more of kind of the core of the stuff. Sequencer-based electronic, very Berlin school influenced. If you like Klaus Schulze, Tangerine Dream, very much in that vein. Very heavily on the sequencer. Came out on 2012 on Cuneiform Records. It's a label I really like a lot. Well, now on to the vinyl. And found some really neat stuff here. Starting with Cam Newton, The Motive Behind the Smile. I think Chris was showing this JC68, or at least was showing something by the artist. But yeah, I was really happy to find this. It's on Inner City from 1978. And you can see what a lineup there. You got Billy Hart on drums, you got Larry Carouche on percussion, Michael Berniak on violin, Cam Newton himself. Also Eddie Daniels on flutes and other woodwinds. Very diverse, kind of Eastern flavored, Middle and Far East flavored. And at times reminds me of Robbie Basho, the guitarist who was on Tacoma Records, who had that very kind of Far Eastern feel. But really, really pleased to find it. I have a classical record here. Kim Kashkashian on viola and Robert Levin on piano. Elegies. It's on ECM New Series from 1986. Yeah, it says Romances and Elegies for viola and piano. I think it errs more on the side of elegies, though. It's quite kind of brooding, dark, melancholy. But it's really nice stuff, and you're always happy to find something on ECM. And I love the New Series, you know, the classical branch of the label. I know Chris is a fan of this artist, Scott Cassou, featuring Van Menakis, Switchback. Also, Sideshow Tinka showed his work, and yeah, I'm always happy to find another Scott Cassou record. This one's from 1989 on Windham Hill. Yeah, excellent piano player, combination of jazz, chamber music, Latin, funk. I mean, there's a lot of nice flavors to be heard here, and a nice large band here. Lincoln Goines on bass, Eugene Friesen on cello, among others. Yeah, definitely recommend it if you like the artist or the label. This is a nice surprise. I'd never heard of this before, but looked intriguing. Crossings of the Spirit by Crossings. It's a piano guitar duet by a couple of fellows, Mark Irwin, Daniel Carrillo. It's from 1986 on the Iris Records. Again, more kind of in that chamber jazz mold to some degree. Well, though probably more on the jazz side, you know, somewhat traditional. And yeah, just really nice playing and improvising. And I was really happy to find this. You know, I had never heard of either one of them, so I'm guessing it's fairly obscure. There's a group I'd never heard of also before, Man Jumping, World Service. This is on Editions EG from 1987. They're a group from Great Britain who I guess I think they said something about they came out of the post-serialist school, but had a lot of influences. Yeah, 7-piece British ensemble who blend elements of serial music with jazz and funk to create an exotic but very appealing sound. This is only a couple of bucks and came with this little press thing, and I believe it came with a photo too. Yeah, a little press photo here. It's pretty neat. Glossy photo there. Yeah, it's a really nice, again, very, very diverse, and at times it sounds, you could hear it is very 1987 in a way, with some of like the digital drums and stuff, but it has enough other elements that kind of, you know, there's definitely a broad appeal there. And Derek just showed this a couple videos ago. Mark Egan, Mosaic. Again, you know, mentioned him before, excellent bass player. This is from 1985 on Hip Pocket Records. And you can see here some of his collaborators there. It's a combination of solo and ensemble playing. Kind of ethereal, but also funky at times. You know, there's some nice percussion on there by Manolo Badrina. And there he is there. And again, like I showed the record before, he's still very active today and very creative. Paul McCandless, Hearsay. Another Windham Hill record here. This one's from 1988. I don't think he's put out a whole lot of solo albums, but it's nice to hear his own original compositions here. And yeah, if you're a fan of, well, Oregon, the group he's been in, you know, for the longest time, as well as the label, definitely would recommend this. It was only for a few bucks. This next record is amazing to me. Stardance by David Friesen. In my opinion, a very overlooked bass player when you hear about jazz bass players. He's someone who's played so many different kinds of music. John Stowell on guitar, again Paul McCandless on woodwinds, and Steve Gadd, great Steve Gadd on drums. Yeah, this is an excellent record. If you're a fan of the bass, to me this is, in my opinion, this is recommended, or this would be required listening. You must know about this Andrew in California, turntablist, certainly the artist, but amazing record. His playing on here is just, bass playing is amazing. Some of the stuff, the techniques he utilizes. It's a combination of solos and trios, duets, different instrumental combinations. It's from 1976 on Inner City, another Inner City Records. But yeah, I can't recommend this highly enough if you're into bass. It's just really, really good. You know, I'm still absorbing it. It's something I think I'll be listening to quite a bit. This is an artist I wasn't familiar with. Connie Crothers, Perception, piano player in a trio here on Steeplechase from 1974. This is something I'll have to listen to more. When I had it playing, I was kind of doing other things and, you know, probably a little distracted, but at times it reminded me what I was listening to Paul Bley to some degree. It mentions Lenny Tristano in here, so I think she's, you know, maybe studied with him or was influenced by him. But it was, you know, I always like trio records of any kind, so I just have to give it further listenings. This is a really nice one. David Friedman, excellent vibes and marimba player. Not very well known as far as or at least I only know of him on a couple other albums. Double Image with Jerry Allen piano, Anthony Cox bass, and Ronnie Barrage on drums. This is from Enja label, 1986. Yeah, nice. At times it's free form, at times chamberish, and at times, you know, very traditional jazz. Yeah, this first piece, Shades of a Labyrinth, is, you know, almost 17 minutes long, and it really kind of stretches out with a lot of silence. It kind of reminds me of Ralph Towner's record, Batik, and I think the title cut is about that length, and it has that same kind of pacing to it. It kind of reminds me of it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this for you know, the diversity of it. I think I have a couple more here. Mark Wagner, Shadowlands, another excellent vibes player. He's from Switzerland, joined by, this is his first album, solo album, joined by some New York players, and a variety of instruments. It's from 1988 on Sun Jump Records, which I hadn't heard of before. He plays in a group which I really like called Tunnels, which is kind of, in some ways, an outgrowth of Brand X. Percy Jones is on bass. I think John Goodsall's on at least one of the albums on guitar. But this is, in a way, it's really, I don't know if I'd say it's more diverse than Brand X, but it's like a different thing altogether. There's big band, there's funk, there's, you know, some traditional jazz, there's rock, there's hard rock. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this record, and I was really happy to find it, and was totally unaware of it. You know, his first solo album here, so I guess this is where it really started for him. And finally here, another excellent bass player, J.F. Jenny Clark, Unison. When I saw the Jenny on top at first, I thought it was the woman on the cover. It's actually someone named Valerie. Yeah, a photo of Valerie. But yeah, J.F. Jenny Clark is joined by Joachim Kuhn, never pronounce his name right, on piano, Christoph Lauer, saxophone, Walter Quintus, digital electronics. It's from 1987 on CMP. Really nice. I'd say it's almost like an abstract sound painting. It's the best way I could describe it. You know, there's the way the sounds kind of move in and out through each other. You know, there's improvisation, there's more straight composition, but at times it could almost be like a modern classical record. But it's something I'll, you know, definitely take more listens to fully absorb it. Well, that's it for this dig. Wanted to get through these kind of quick, so I had so many of them. But yeah, it was great. You know, I only get to that place, the Jazz Record Mart, maybe once a year, once or twice a year. Even though, you know, I could go there a lot more, but you're spending a lot of money because there's all kinds of stuff there. So yeah, well, thank you all for watching. I'll have a few more finds. I know I have a few more things that I've picked up over the last couple months, just some stuff online, some stuff at other shops, and a few other things I've been revisiting. So I'll see you all when I see you all, and hope you're all well and having a good summer, and until next time, peace, love, and joy.